So it's now quite difficult. I cannot sing that well. I even cannot dance. So I try to make it content-wise. It's a big pleasure to be here and to be here together with you to celebrate this evening. And preparing this little talk, it was quite difficult how to do this, to make it very family-orientated or company-orientated. A good friend of mine gave me a big advice. He's sitting very close to me here, and he said, make it like an Oscar speech. So I looked at many Oscar speeches on YouTube. I think it's too short, basically, to tell everything what happened over the last 40 years. So I'll make it a little bit longer, but don't be afraid, it won't be too much stress for you. I want to thank everybody for coming and welcoming again. All our partners from the medical field, doctors, pharmacists, consumers, customers who are here celebrating with us. I want to thank everybody from people who worked with us for a long time and retired. So a lot of people who worked in Croma and retired are here. People who still work with us and work on a daily basis with Croma are here. I want to thank them for spending this evening with us. And many, many friends of Croma, of our family, came to celebrate this 40th anniversary with us. So 40 years ago, I guess in 1976, when our parents, I always speak in the name of my brother for sure. So our parents created this new venture. And it's like probably like getting a baby and getting a newborn. So you really do everything what you can do for a new project. You put a lot of effort, you put a lot of passion, a lot of time, a lot of work into this project, but you really never know what happens and how it develops. And this was basically, I think, the first 15 years, the history of Croma, that our parents, they tried many things, and I'm sure many of you have been in Croma and listened to all these stories, what happened from special imports to importing eels for several purposes. So a lot of different activities happened in these 15 years. And I think only when Croma became like in the puberty in the 90s, so when Croma was 15, when Croma turned into 20, we started to, the company and we all together, the family, and the people working in Croma started to put the first cornerstones, which are still part of Croma, such as we started manufacturing of hyaluronic acid in pre-filled syringes. This was in the early 90s. That's still a high integral part of the company. And in this time, in this puberty time, adolescence time, we started as well to look where we are in ophthalmology. We imported products. We started to be active in the field of orthopedics. So as well, like when you're a teenager, you do things, you try things. Some things you stop, some things you really continue. When we turned something like 30, this was 10 years ago, I'm sure when you asked someone out of our family, everybody could tell you, now we know who we are. We are a really fully integrated company in the field of ophthalmics, orthopedics, and aesthetics. We do everything from research, development, regulatory, marketing, so we do everything, and that's who we are, and that's what we're gonna be. Not only in our portfolio, we really established ourselves and we knew exactly what we did, as well in our geographical reach. We established daughter companies, affiliated companies in all Europe, in most of the European countries, in Latin America, in the US, in Canada, in Australia. So I think in the 30s we really had a clear mind who we are, and what we do. But then when you get to 40, you start to rethink and you think, oh, what did we learn? What worked good? What worked well? Where have we been successful? What didn't we do good? So we came to the conclusion we should adapt ourselves in order maybe to survive another 40 years. And this led to the situation that we have somehow divested two major fields which we were following, ophthalmology and orthopedics. Now we are 40 today, well not today, this year is our 40th anniversary. I think we can really benefit from everything what happened over the last years. We had made a lot of experience, we learned a lot. We have celebrated a lot of successes. We have suffered in sometimes were quite difficult, but I think with 40 we're obviously in the best age to, out of our experience and everything what we've done, with all the ambitions and all the power and energy we have, really to start all the next ventures which we have in front of us. And all of you know this minimal invasive aesthetic medicine. That's an incredibly challenging field, and we believe that Croma has to play a very important role in this field. And our aim is obviously not to be a small player in this field, but our aim is to become the #1 brand choice in this field, globally for sure, if you were doubting this. 40 years ago, when the company was founded, I think what our parents had in mind was the company was always founded on a few things. It's persistence, which is a very important thing, diligence, endurance, and always this mindset of nothing is impossible. So these are this is the fundament of Croma, and we still are living this fundament. And we base basically everything on it, what our parents, when they started the company, created. And what we always heard when we were kids, not only these cornerstones were important, as well what was important when creating Croma and when creating something, the goal of our parents was always to do something #1 together, which was very important and still is important, and to do something for a long time. To do things different than anyone else and better than anyone else, and not only be one step ahead than the others, but look very much in the future. So, my brother and I, Martin, we are very grateful to you, what you have done, what you have paved the way for us. We had it much, much easier than you, because we could already build on something which was established. When I just think about how it was to run a business 40 years ago, it was obviously completely different. So today when someone calls and makes an invoice and orders something and we make an invoice, it's done by a computer system. I think 40 years ago when someone called, I think my father picked up the phone, he made the invoice, he packed everything and went to the postal office to ship it. So it was a complete different thing than when you say running a business today. So 40 years ago, our parents really had a lot of personal impact, a lot of body work to do, and a lot of passion. We are very happy that we could step into this company, lead this company until today, and we try to do this many, many, many more years. Not many companies survive until their 40th birthday. So when you look into statistics, 96% of companies die after 10 years. Only very, very little companies live for 40 years, and that's probably thanks to all this big fundament of what our parents have generated and all the values of the family and of the company which were given to us. Unfortunately, this was really 2 minutes too early because I'm my last sentence now. But I'll say it anyway. So the best thing is, and thank you for creating Croma, thank you, not for us, but for many, many happy patients, for many, many happy customers. Thank you very much that you did this. Without Croma would not exist. Without you, Croma would not exist. And without you, even more important, Corinna, our sister, Martin and I would not exist. So I think that's even more important, at least for us three. So thank you very much, and cheers to this. And I think I missed a very important part. Michael told me, number one, I should tell you what we do now. And number two, I really need to say a very, very big, big, big thank you to the impresario of this evening. So Croma was always known for having really good parties, but I think today you have set a new standard. So Michael Palatin, he's not only an incredibly good aesthetic dermatologist, but he had a big vision for this evening, and he made it come true together with Oliver Stamm and Gerhard Prinz, who were helping him, supporting him, and obviously the biggest help from Michael Manzenreiter. So this will be a day for history, and unfortunately in 10 years, we have to talk again about how to make an even better event. So Michael, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now the last, but the really most important thing is that when we looked into 40 years of Croma, we identified as well that there is a piece of history of Croma in the antique times. So we please kindly ask you to go downstairs, and we want to share this with you. Downstairs you will see what's all about. Thank you very much.